Hello, this is Malik, and today I'm gonna give you several lessons that policymakers or leaders can learn from my country, Brunei Darussalam, and its government in tackling the COVID-19 virus. So we all know COVID-19 is a very deadly disease. It's now practically put the global economy to a standstill, and has also infected millions and millions of lives, and has taken um, over 100,000 lives or even more. And so this is a very unprecedented virus. It affects everyone. And so amidst all of this, we can see that there are countries that have succeeded in managing the virus. So we can see in countries like in New Zealand, in other parts of the world. But in this video, I'm going to focus on hone in Brunei Darussalam, because I believe Brunei Darussalam's case is one that's terminally understudied, which I believe can really provide salient lessons for individuals who wants to learn from Brunei's experience. So as of current, Brunei's COVID-19 cases is over 145 cases. It has also faced about 3 deaths. And so some of the lessons that you can learn from Brunei's case are threefold. And the first reason, or the first lesson, how Brunei managed to contain the coronavirus 19 in this country, is how there's been an strict intervention by the government upon identifying the virus that's infected the populace or local populace. The government took stern measures to really made it quite strict. Like it has done lots and lots of important testing. It has traced a lot of the individuals who were identified as being part of a cluster, that is the so-called tablet cluster, and the early intervention was key and was crucial, because then these tablet clusters, upon being identified, led to the government of Brunei Darussalam to inform other governments in Southeast Asia, particularly in Singapore, Indonesia, and Malaysia, to take action to see that, hey, there's a tablet cluster happening in KL, which was at that time one of the biggest religious gathering up there. And so this is where Bruneians got infected, and once Bruneian got hold of it, kind of made the intervention necessary to alarm others to be prepared. And so the early intervention is also key. And so lots of contact tracing, lots of testing were done in the early stages, so that all these cases don't get viral or turn into community cases. So nipping the issue in the bud is extremely crucial. The second lesson that you can learn from Brunei's case is how transparent the government is when it comes to the numbers it shares to the public. The Minister of Health himself actually went down to deliver an unprecedented press conference that's been done every single day in the early stages of the coronavirus outbreak. And this is quite extremely great, because then he has allayed people's fears and educated the populace on the measures necessary to be undertaken by the government. And so other ministers or other policymakers also joined in the conference, has led to the promotion of awareness of the public to understand, okay, this is what the government is going to do, and this is some of the restrictions or regulations that have been put into place, or the new legislations that has been assigned or approved to ensure that the public safety is going to be taken care of. And so that level of transparency is key, and I believe it has made a huge difference, especially in educating the mass public to play their part. I remember distinctly what the Minister of Health always say: never be the weak link, and always make sure that people don't play around in any it's along that line, along those lines. And so, oh wait, no, the correct word was don't push it. That's what he always say. And I think that level of strictness was extremely good. And the third lesson that we can learn from Brunei's case is in terms of how it has promoted information to the mass public through these transparent press conferences, and augmented, I should say, by the old media and new media. Old media as in being in the newspapers. You can see that in Brunei's newspapers, all front page, like all warning or all advice, all the numbers of people being infected and all these things to raise awareness on the dangers of COVID-19, and that kind of press home to the public and the necessity to take part in this grand exercise to tackle the virus together in the whole of nation approach. And so that's quite key. There's also the deployment of new media, such as using Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, but mostly Facebook and Instagram, where they invited bloggers to cover all these proceedings, and these bloggers have quite a huge influence in the community that has resulted in people tuning in on these press conferences as a sort of not just as a way to keep updated of the latest happenings at that time, but rather to get entertained. I won't say entertained, but to get up to date with the issues facing the country. And it was extremely fun. And to see or to observe lots and lots of people participating in the consumption of these information, and it was great. And so there are certain caveats that's be taken into account. As stated before, Brunei is quite unique. It is quite oil-rich, and so it has lots of resources it can deploy when it comes to tackling the issues. Can also secure all of these products and items from abroad, or these machines and masks, to really keep our population quite safe. And so the oil money really helps out to buffer some of these shocks to the economy too, given the resultant or subsequent border semi-closure, something like that. And second uniqueness about our country is that, unlike other big countries, our government is centrally controlled, and so that's like a top-down approach in governance. And whilst this may not sound quite popular to other people or people not from Brunei, or at least it's extremely crucial, and in terms of tackling a very risky moment, a very chaotic moment. And so our leaders did a spectacular job in maintaining order amidst all this crisis. And having a central government really helps out a lot, because decisions can be made easily, and whilst these decisions are made easily, they do manage to take into account other ministries in the process, and this togetherness effort, or this whole of nation effort. And finally, we have a very small population. We only have about less than 500,000 people, and so by the virtue of our small population, our government actually can easily identify the clusters that may exist, and it's also managed to identify the people and really contain the community spread, if there was any. And we also managed to the government has also managed to really bring back all the students studying abroad, and even managed to bring some Malaysians too using Bruneian flight from Egypt, which the Malaysians are quite very much grateful. And in any case, it was super good. And although Brunei is unique in this matter, we can still nevertheless learn some salient lessons. So overall, what the Brunei government has done in managing COVID-19 successfully thus far is how he has managed to nip the issue in the bud by intervening early on, not just later once everything is worse. And so early intervention is key. Secondly, it is quite transparent in this process of governance, and to really educate the public through the dissemination of information through both old media and new media. And this is quite a very key lesson from a microstate like Brunei that can be applied by many big countries that wish to undertake in the monumental effort to contain COVID-19. And as a Bruneian myself, I'm very much proud of the government, and it was a proud moment in Brunei's case, and it's it's something that people can look in Brunei, beyond whatever headlines that may exist out there, to learn from us, so that we can help together in building a better future for all. And Brunei government can really serve as that key case study that I hope every researchers can take into account in dealing with this issue. And so thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in watching more videos such as this, then please do subscribe. Thank you so much.